There are a few common keyboard shortcuts and operation methods in which it is important for us to get quite familiar and used to when it comes to using 3D Studio Max. For example, the shortcut key alternate W becomes quite important when it comes to the common usage of 3D Studio Max. Like for example, the alternate W key will allow us to maximize the view and minimize the view back again to a quad view state. For example, the left view, and then we will press the alternate W key to scale up the view or to maximize the viewport or to toggle it back to the 4 view state. Next would be the F3 and the F4 key. Now, by default, 3D Studio Max will display the 3D geometries in a wireframe state here, as indicated down here. So we can press the F3 key to turn it into a shaded view, and toggle the F3 key again to change it back to a wireframe view this way. And after we change it into a shaded view, and if we press the F4 key, you will find that it will toggle into a shaded view with H mode. So let me show you by maximizing the view here and pressing the F4 key now. Do you see that now the teapot has shaded views, shaded edges here? And next, I want to share with you another very commonly used shortcut key, which is holding the alternate key and pressing on the middle mouse button here. This will allow us to orbit the scene so that we can see things in the rotated view state. This is particularly important when we do our 3D modeling later on, because we commonly need to see things in its rotated view so that we can see the 3D model all round. Next, I will also need to show you how to isolate things so that it is easier for us to manage the scene. For example, if I'm going to work on the teapot now further, I will select the object and then I will right click on it and look for this isolate selection here. And when I click on it, you notice that the cube beside it is no longer visible. It's hidden away. So now it allows us to concentrate on working on this particular geometry for now. And once we are done with the modeling of this particular geometry, we can then right click to N isolate here. We can use the right click N isolate command here. We click on this and everything that is being previously hidden away will now reappear again. Also, in its default state, you will find that most of the viewports, these 3 viewports here at least, the top, the left and the front, will have the grid lines preset. So grid lines are helpful when we first started out learning how to use 3D Studio Max. But after a while, once we get used to it, the grid becomes more of a hindrance than a helpful aid here. So what would happen is we would want to know how to turn it off and on as and when we need to, and so on. So we will press the G key here to turn off the grid. So let me show you how it's done. So I'm going to go to the front view by right clicking on the view, right click on the view here to select the viewport, and then I press G, right click to press G. Now notice all the viewports here will have no grids. So I'm going to try to turn it all back on again by pressing G, right click on the view, G again, right click on the view, G. Very frequently we will not want to use perspective view. You notice down here is perspective view. We will not want to use perspective view to do our modeling because it becomes difficult to navigate or to zoom to details. Notice here I cannot zoom anymore. It locks or it jams because I'm in the perspective view here. Alright, so another way to be more efficient in our work would be to change it to a user view by pressing the shortcut key U, and then we will be able to zoom in very closely to make sure we are modeling everything quite correctly here. And in using the user view, the orthographic view with the shortcut U, we will be able to also toggle the grids on and off as well. You will notice also the grids can be turned on and off even in a 3D view state, but this is only restricted to user view. If we change it to perspective view, you will find that we will not be able to see the grids here. So I would personally prefer to use the user view to do my 3D modeling because it gives me that level of precision that perspective view cannot offer. Another thing you notice here on the top left hand corner, let me expand this view here to show you. This top view here has a gradated background. Do you see the lighter colored background here compared to the darker colored background here? Now we can actually change this to a flat color background like this. Let me turn off the grid. So what we can do is we can go to the fourth portion here, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth part of the viewport setting, and then we can click on the Edge Faces word here, and we can go to viewport background and change it to solid color. And in doing that, you find that all viewports will be more consistent, and we can change this one also to view background and change it to solid color as well, this way.